We're here in Cumbria with the M Sport Qatar World Rally team. We're up at a media test day for the launch of the new R5 car with obviously the boss of the M Sport Qatar team, it's Macolm Wilson. Macolm, this car just looks fantastic, but a lot, in terms of M Sport, a lot riding on the success of this car.
There is, but I think not just for M Sport and Ford with the Fiesta, but I think for the whole next generation of rallying. I think this is going to be such an important category. I think the FIA technical people have done a fantastic job in coming up with the regulations, obviously work with the manufacturers, but I think the most important thing of all is the cost of this car and the price cap that's in place until the end of 2015 on the price of the car and on the price of the spares. So judging by the performance of the new R5 Fiesta, then I have to say we are very, very encouraged. We know how competitive it is in relation to a World Rally car. So from our point of view, it's going to be quicker than a Super 2000, it's going to be quicker than a regional car, and it's much less than half the price of the World Rally car. So it's going to be a great car for all around the world, all the different championships.
Sound like it's going to be quite a beast. Now just explain to us, Macolm, the difference between this and say a regional rally car. To me it looks very, very similar. From the outside, what are the differences?
From the externally, you're right. It's based on the new facelift Fiesta, so I think it looks even more purposeful. I mean, I'm really happy with the way the whole design and everything has turned out. But the big difference is where you get the cost out of the car is you've had to use a lot more standard components. So rather than making bespoke radiators, intercoolers, steering racks, basically you've got to find items off a standard car that will do the job. And to be honest, a lot of the time and research has gone into that, as well as developing the car. There's been a big amount of time done sourcing radiators that will cope with the capacity that you need. For instance, we're using a radiator of a Ford Edge, which is an American-based vehicle, so we've had great help from Ford in looking at all the different aspects. Which car's got the most highest output alternator that we can use that fits in.
So these are standard road car parts that you've taken as the base. So standard road car radiator and alternator.
Things like that, yes.
Wow.
They're basically production-based components: turbocharger, radiator, intercooler. So a lot of research has gone into getting the most efficient parts that you can get, and hopefully you've got to think about the reliability. Obviously the specialist components like the four-wheel drive system, that's bespoke to our car. But again, what we've targeted is 2,000 kilometres between rebuilds, which is better than current Super 2000 or World Rally car, regional rally car.
Just very quickly, how proud are you? Look at that car, Macolm. How proud are you? Boys and girls, the team at M Sport, to see that, to hear that car, to know that people are buying that car.
Well, it's a great boost for us, but I think in all honesty the biggest vote of confidence in M Sport and all the people there is the amount of orders. You know, we've actually got 18 deposits already for this car, and until last week these are people that had paid the deposit that hadn't even seen the car. So that's a great vote of confidence in M Sport and what the guys can actually do.
A lot of people suggesting that perhaps this might be the next World Rally formula. Can you see that happening, or are we a long way away from that?
I think we're a fair way away from that, but the one thing that I can tell you, knowing how competitive this car is, certainly if you're standing in a stage and watching cars go by at 1 or 2 minute intervals, you would not be able to tell the difference, because there's such a small difference between the time-wise between a World Rally car and this car, that if you're standing on the side of the road, you won't be able to tell the difference.
What about for new manufacturers then coming in? If say this was the new World Rally car formula, would it be more attractive to new manufacturers? Is the cost involved in developing this car significantly less, or is it more or less the same as the current formula?
No, I think the cost in developing the car is very similar to a World Rally car, because as I said, you've also got to design the car, but then a big part of our development and research has actually been sourcing, as I mentioned to you, these standard parts. So a lot of time has been spent on that. But then, of course, the running costs are significantly less. I mean, this car's going to be a lot cheaper to run than the Super 2000 even. So, and with the extended life of all the components, then it's going to make it, should we say, as cost effective as it could be for a car of this calibre that can achieve the results it can achieve.
It's going to be really exciting to see it when I've seen it, I've driven it. It gave a few people a scare out there, I'd have to say, Macolm, but it was a huge privilege, and thank you very much for allowing me to drive your car. But when are we going to see it out in the stages driving competitively?
Well, the first time we'll see it will be as a VIP car in and running ahead of the main competitors on Ypres Rally with Thierry Neuville driving. And then the first time that we will actually be running the car as M Sport will be Elvin Evans in Rally Finland. There will be cars out there before then, Rally Estonia, probably other events in different parts of the world, but that will be our WRC debut, will be Finland.
Malcolm, many congratulations. Another fantastic looking car from the boys and girls at M Sport. Well done.
Thank you very much.